Welcome to RPG Elite, where we put the RP back into RPG, giving you tools, tips, and tutorials on how to make your RPG experience more immersive and enjoyable. If this is your first time coming to the channel, I want to welcome you, and for all you returnees, what is up? Fist bump. All right, now I made a boo-boo this last week, and it really wasn't I made a boo-boo, I just couldn't make my weekly video. I like to come out with a video every week, and I couldn't do it within a week because last week, man, I don't know what happened. Me and my wife, we were eating, and I forgot if we were eating out, if it was something that we ate out or something. And I think it wasn't that we ate out, but I think we went to the store. I ate some food or whatever, but I came back home. I ate something, man, and it just hit me. I don't know what happened. I was talking to my wife, and I was like, man, it feels like I got food poisoning. She was like, well, I ate the same thing you ate. I don't think that's it. And I was like, yeah, you know, you're probably right, but bro, I'm not going to get into the gory details, but there were some gory details. I spent way too much time in the echo chamber. Know what I mean? So, and that hit me, and I was like affected for like 3 days, just wasn't feeling 100%. So I got behind. So I'm behind on my videos, right? And like I said, I like to come out with a video once every week. So let me give you the rundown on what days that you should look for these videos, because I've never officially come out and said, hey, okay, what day should you look for these? The main day that you should look for a video from me is on Fridays. That's the main day. That is what I consider the requisite must for me to get out a video. That's the day I want to release a video. There's 2 other days that I may come out with a video though. That's on Saturdays and on Tuesdays. And actually Tuesday is more likely than Saturday. So the main day is on Friday, Tuesday as an optional day if I've got some extra stuff, and then Saturday if I really got a whole lot of stuff that I want to release. So that's when you should look forward to a video. Now, of course, I'm a day late. This is really weird. I'm coming out on a Wednesday, right? As the recording of this video is on Wednesday. So in the next few days, yeah, you're going to find me having a couple more videos than normal in such a short amount of time because I don't like being behind. I mentioned before in a video, I'm booked. Like, as far as my schedule, I've already written my schedule out for the channel all the way out until February. And today I have to switch some things around, and I'm gonna have to push it back even further, probably into the beginning of March. And it might even be further than that, folks, because I know I know the next series I'm gonna do, and I'm just gonna plan it out. So I want you guys, it's just like watching a television show, right? I mean, when you go to watch a television show, nowadays, there's 1 or 2 things, right? They come out with it all at the same time, or they come out with it, if it's actually on network television, then what? They come out with it every week at the same time on the same channel. So it's consistency for you, and you wait for it. That is what I want to do here. I want you to have consistency, and I don't want it to just be a hodgepodge of videos that come out whenever, you know? All right, that's just the kind of guy I am. Okay, so today we are continuing our series on Gamma World. In the last part, we went through mutation stats, and we're going to finish up stats today when we're going to be looking at weapons, we're going to be looking at armor, and we're going to be looking at vehicle stats. So, without further ado, let's get this party started. 1, 2. Now let me get on out of here since we've done with mutations, and we're now going to go to weapons. And I'm just going to put the Numba in here. And this is the weapons table, and we're going to blow this up. Let's blow it up. Oh, we went too far. There we go. And we're just going to make it just a little bit bigger. And we're going to go through the different designations for weapons, because you're going to need weapons, and you'll start off with some weapons when you create your character. So what does all this stuff mean on this table? Let's take a look at it. This WC right here stands for weapon class. And I'm not going to get into the details, the nitty-gritty details. Just know that the higher your weapon class, the better the weapon. The higher your weapon class, the better the weapon. So it is compared to the armor class on a table, and we'll get into that once we get into combat, but it's compared to the armor class of a target to see if it can hit that target. So that is what WC is an abbreviation for, weapon class. And remember, higher, better. Now, code right here is the tech level of this weapon. And what you'll see right here, you'll see a couple things. You know, you have a squiggly line here, or you have a letter. And then you'll have Roman numerals. The Roman numerals is going to tell you the tech level of the weapon. The other side, on the left-hand side here, that tells you the complexity. I can't speak. The other side here is the complexity rating. And this has to do with artifacts and discovering artifacts, and we'll get into that in the artifact video. But these are important in understanding how to use the weapon or how to figure out the weapon, which is done with artifacts. More on that in the artifacts video. Then we have range. Pretty self-explanatory. The asterisk here means doesn't have one. That's simple. Doesn't have a range. I'll take that back. The asterisk here actually means it has no range, or it has a special means of being propelled. That's what that means. Now, this little, and I forgot what this is called, an agu or something like that. I think that's even wrong. But the little squiggly line that looks like a wave right here, this actually designates that it just depends on how far your character can throw it. In this situation, we're talking about a Chemex grenade. So obviously, how far you can throw the grenade is going to be the range on it. And then you have an actual number, which is the number of meters that it has. Now, this can go up to twice this range here, but it will only be at half damage. So this is effective full damage range here. You can do twice, you can go up to twice, but then it's going to be half damage. You go over here to damage, and this again is pretty self-explanatory, but I'm going to go through it anyway. Right here, it's just going to tell you the die. And if it's 1d8, okay, it's 1d8 damage, period. You have this right here, which says 1d6, and then it has a slash right there, and it has an H. The left side of it is the damage that it does to a smaller than man-sized character. The right size is the damage that it does to a larger than man-sized character. And H means that it will do half damage. If you go down here and you see this D, this means that it will do double damage. Look at this one right here, laser pistol, 5d6, just putting it down. You want to talk about that hurts. Junior say, ow. Man, that's not even playing around. And then on the damage, you also see a lot of these asterisks. There's a lot of them here. Now, what does that mean? It means it has a special type of damage. And so you need to look at the weapon description to figure out what type of damage it does, what special type of damage it does. All right. Well, kilo is just short for kilogram, and it's just how much that it weighs. That does come into play when you're talking about encumbrance. Now, this last one is the value. This value has to do with the amount of status points that are awarded if the character gives the item to their community, or if they belong to a cryptic alliance, how much status points they will accrue. Now, we're going to get into that when we get into communities and cryptic alliances. So I'm not going to get into detail on that, but that is what those things are. Now, if you go down to the next page, you will see the same exact stats for just general equipment. You have the type, pretty much the name of it. The code has to do with artifacts, the cost. This is in gold. Did we go through cost on this? I didn't. So there's the cost over here, and this is all in gold. This is all in gold. The other thing, though, for cost is you have these asterisks, and these here means that you can't buy that. If it has a cost, that means that you can buy that at a base, right? At your character's base or a sister base or something like that. But if it doesn't, that means that the only way that that thing can be found is like either as loot from an enemy or as loot that you find in an abandoned installation or something like that. Some of these things are extremely expensive. Check it out, y'all. Laser pistol, again, 600 gold. This is not all in gold, by the way. 900 gold for a laser rifle, not playing. So if you guys happen to find that, that's a pretty penny if you want to try to sell it. Another thing that's in status points. So let's go back over here on value. You're going to find that it has a certain amount of points. It's going to have none, which is self-explanatory. Doesn't mean it's not going to give you any status points. But there's also another one called rank. Now, this has to do with understanding status points. So again, we're going to cover that when we get into communities and Cryptic Alliance. But that is a very powerful reward when it comes to the value. Instead of a certain number of points, to go a full rank, that is powerful. Okay, so that's the best thing to see over in this value column here. And not only there, I'm going to go back down to the general equipment list. You'll see it here as well. You see the code is the same thing, cost is the same thing, kilo, how much it weighs, value, same thing. A certain amount, rank, or none. Let's go to the next table, which will be our armor table. Now, this is important to understand. Just about the majority of this stuff is the same as on the weapon table. Code, cost, kilo, value. You guys know that. Great. The only thing that's different is AC. Now, obviously, that's armor class. The one thing that you have to understand about armor class in old school RPGs is this: the lower the armor class, the better the armor. It's the opposite of a weapon class. So the lower the armor class, the better the armor. And then over here, so armor class 4, better than armor class 6, which is better than armor class 8, which is better than armor class 10. Another thing to remember about armor class is that it's a finite range. So you can only have an armor class from 1 to 10, and that's it. So if you happen to go over, it's armor class 1. So you go over the absolute highest, which is armor class 1, it's just automatically armor class 1. You can't go no higher. Same thing for armor class 10. If something were to take you to be over armor class 10, then it's just armor class 10. That's it. And as you can see here, armor class 10, the only way you have armor class 10 is if you have absolutely no armor. And you can't get no worse than that. If you got no armor, you ain't got no armor. That's just the way it is. You also find a plus designation here, and they're for shields. So this is plus here and this is plus here. And what that means is that is going to make it just a little bit easier when you guys go to hit, or not to hit, but you're going to have one extra bit of protection, and it goes up by 1 point. Now, again, I'm not going to show that in this video. We'll do that in another video. And the next one that we'll do, last on the list, and I think I have to go down on the same page here, so I hope I don't, is the went too far. Transport table. And this is for vehicles, really. And here under class is the class of the vehicle. There's 2 designations here. One over on the left-hand side and the other over on the right-hand side. The left-hand side is the armor class. So this has an armor class of 2. The right-hand side are the amount of hit points. So this is the amount of damage that the vehicle can take. The rest are the same. So you know what code is, you know what cost is, except for speed. Speed is self-explanatory. It tells you the top speed that the vehicle can go in kilometers per hour. Again, if you want to go ahead and if most of the people who probably are watching this video are probably from the United States. So if you want to go ahead and see what the miles per hour is, there is a table here that does that. And I think, let me see if I can find it here, because I think it's right at the top. There it is. So you can see they do have a metric conversion table. So 1 meter, 3.28 feet, and 1 kilometer per hour down here equals 0.62 miles per hour. So that's how that works. So that is the whole of understanding all the designations for your mutations, for your weapons, for your armor, for your gear, and for your vehicles. Important stuff to know as you're looking at your table, especially when you are equipping your character and when you have these mutations and knowing what they are. And I forgot to tell you the effect, which I don't really need to tell you. I don't think I really need to tell you what effect means. But since I'm just thorough like that, let me go ahead and do that. And then go back to some mutations here. And the effect is basically the description of the, whoops, going the wrong way. It's the description. It tells you exactly how this mutation works. Let's just go back up here to absorption. The example that we had, it says effects. The character can absorb damage of one particular type equal to his hit point score, in addition to other damage. Damage absorbed this way is noted separately from normal damage, but has no effect on the character. It's as if they had armor that totally absorbs this specific kind of damage. When a point of normal damage is healed, 1 point of this type of damage is also removed. And then you have to roll 1d6 to find out the type of damage that you absorb. So it's cold, heat, light, electricity, radiation, sonic blast. So that is how this particular mutation works. And you have all of your different effects under all your mutations. There it is, folks. Understanding all of the aspects for your mutations, weapons, armor, vehicles, and gear. Well, there you have it, folks. All of the stats, if you put both of the videos together, all of the stats. So you got mutation stats, all of the main stats, right? Mutation stats, weapons, armor, vehicles. You're ready to go now. For the most part, you're ready to go. There's some other things that are in there for like NPCs and things like that, but we're not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that. Maybe another video, probably another video, because I have to look at my schedule because I think I have that as part of another video. So that's it. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all tired of me talking. So until next time, say it with me now. Happy gaming.